Hailing frequencies are open.
And welcome everyone to this very special stream here celebrating Star Trek Day, it being the 8th of September, which was of course way back in 1966, the very first day that we had a Star Trek episode air. I'm your host Stu Jackson for this very, very special episode where we're going to be doing a watch along of the very first episode that aired, the original series episode The Man Trap. Now I see Captain Quinn's there in chat. Hello Captain Quinn, great to see you. So yeah, do give a shout out in chat if you're watching, and really, really important, if you want to watch along the episode as I'm watching it, what you need to do is line it up yourselves ready to watch. It's on Netflix here in the UK. It's on Amazon Prime in the UK. I'm not sure if that's with the Paramount Plus. I might be with the Paramount Plus add-on with Amazon, which is how I've done Paramount Plus. There are other ways as well. Hello, Luna. Glad you could join as well. So yeah, so make sure you've got, like I say, Netflix probably is the one I'm going to be watching it on. So do have it lined up ready. This is season 1. It's listed on Netflix as episode 2 because they had episode 1 as the pilot, The Cage, but of course that wasn't broadcast back in the day. Paramount Plus, there you go, Captain Quinn, thank you very much. So yeah, so although it's showing as episode 2, it was the first ever episode aired. They hadn't aired The Cage at that time. So yeah, episode 2 on Paramount Plus as well. So I would hope that many of the people watching this, but maybe not, are familiar with the episode. There are a number of things that we have come to accept as very normal for the original series, but because this was the 6th episode filmed, so in terms of production, yeah, this was the 6th one actually filmed. I think they were going to go originally with Charlie X as the first one, but for various reasons, which I'm not entirely sure of, they decided on The Man Trap as being the first episode to be shown. So throughout the first season, you do get some variations. For example, in this episode, we see Lieutenant Uhura wearing a red uniform, which is, of course, what we're accustomed to seeing her in. But then in subsequent episodes, she's wearing gold because that's what she was originally wearing for the first few that were shot. So there we go. So this is the first time we're see her in red, technically. Other things to watch out for is we actually get the line from Bones, "He's dead, Jim," in this episode. So watch out for that. So yeah, make sure you've got it all set up, ready to go. I also have my little drinky drink to celebrate ready. I've got my United Federation of Planets. I don't know how well that's probably reflecting a little bit, but there we go. United Federation of Planets glass, and I've got a nice ginger wine in it. Do drink responsibly if you're going to drink, but yes, that's how I'm going to be celebrating. What else can we tell you about this episode whilst people are getting it lined up? And also, of course, if you've got it on DVD or video even, I know there are some people who still use VHS. Good on you. The quality is appalling for what we're used to, but there we go. But yeah, if you, however you want to watch the episode, do. Or you can just watch me watching it. I mean, you're not going to see it, you're not going to hear it from here for obvious copyright issues, but yeah, there we go. We're going to get going in just a moment with the episode, so do make sure you've got it lined up ready to go. I'll do a countdown from 5 once we are ready. But I want to hear from yourselves how you've been celebrating a Star Trek Day. Have you been celebrating Star Trek Day for a start? And if so, in what way? I started my day. I recently done a rewatch of the Strange New Worlds. I know Strange New Worlds is fairly, but I was watching it basically as it was released, and yeah, so I'd saved episode 10, which to be honest was one of my favourite episodes from Strange New Worlds when I first watched it. So I saved episode 10 to watch specifically today. I then went and watched The Cage. So again, the pilot episode, that's been what I've done today. And of course I'm doing this today. But I want recommendations of what episode to watch after this. Thor, Love and Thunder, I'm pretty sure that's not a Star Trek episode, so it probably doesn't count as celebrating Star Trek Day. But there you go. Disney Plus Day, but it's not Star Wars Day. So Disney would make sense with that. But there you go. So I want to hear recommendations for what episode I should watch after this stream. What am I drinking? This is ginger wine in a Star Trek United Federation of Planets glass there. That's gold leaf. This is part of a set I've got. I've got a mug as well, a beer mug. In a similar design with the hero ships. This was up to Deep Space Nine, so it's got Deep Space Nine on there. Doesn't have the Defiant because it predated the Defiant, but it has the original Enterprise, Next Gen Enterprise, Deep Space Nine. I think that's it. But yeah, very, very fancy. It's my kind of special edition stuff. There are some people who wouldn't like to use them because it's gold foil and it's all very nice, and of course it wears out when you use it and loses their value. But no, I'm a great believer in if it's not being used, what's the point? So there we go. Anyway, happy Star Trek Day indeed. So I'm going to get on and watch this episode now. Like I say, do drop in the chat any recommendations for what episode, or even what, a random episode from a particular series or something like that I should watch. You'll notice I've got all the heroes from various series behind me here. Let's see, from right to left, you've got 7 of 9, Captain Sisko, Captain Janeway, Ensign Mariner, Captain Pike. Oh my goodness, Captain. Oh my god, Discovery. Oh my goodness, what's her name? How appallingly bad is that? Anyway, moving on. Captain Picard, Dal. Burnham, thank you very much. I just had a sudden brain fart. You've got Dal, you've got Uhura, you've got Leonard Nimoy as Spock, and hiding behind my microphone there, you of course have Captain Archer. So this is the official, behind me here, the official Paramount Star Trek Day banner. So there we go. It's nice to see Uhura on there, of course, because Nichelle Nichols, of course, sadly passed away earlier this year. So yes, nice that she's being honoured in it. So there we go. Why don't we jump in and watch this episode then? So I'm going to make sure I've got it in front of me. I am going to hit play on a countdown of 5. So if we're all ready, and I'll be talking throughout the episode, so you might want to mute me if you don't like people talking. But I'll be watching this way, so camera is up there, but my screen is over there for watching. So here we go. So after 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. And if you hit play, you'll be watching it as I do. There's the old Enterprise. Interesting with the star dates 1513.1. Of course, star dates were just randomly picked numbers back for the original series. And interestingly, the guy on the right there is security. Now, we normally think of security as wearing red, but originally they wore blue. So there you go. And that's a form of grass he's holding, not flowers. But there you go. You'll note old Bill Shatner there. He's decided to dress like me this evening. One of the very few episodes where we actually get to hear a bit about McCoy's past. There we go. He sees somebody different. Also worth noting, he wasn't James T. Kirk at the time as well. In Charlie X, when we see his headstone, I think is it James H. Kirk? James R. Kirk, that's it. That's the one. Originally, the title for this episode was going to be The Damsel with the Dulcimer, apparently. Of course, when this episode first aired, it got absolutely panned in the reviews. Oh, that's right. It's when he fought Flynn. There she is. Now I'm watching the remastered version. So depending on the version you're watching, you might be seeing a different title sequence to me if you're watching the original version. Because the first title sequence was different to the rest, but when they remastered them, they just brought it in line with the rest. There wasn't anyone on the original version. There wasn't anyone starring before it showed William Shatner. I do like the remastered, though. I think it's a vast improvement. And of course, it was designed to be seen on TVs with like 10-inch screens. So, of course, with remastering and watching it on a much bigger screen, you see far more detail than you ever would have done originally. And of course, you see far more errors than you would have done. It wasn't black and white, but most people would have had black and white TVs. No, it was originally done in colour. It's only 1966 after all. Oh, we love showing our gold braid. I mean, this episode certainly aged, that's for sure. It's not a horror episode, so you're fine. Although, that said, there's a writer on Discovery who first impressions of Star Trek was watching this as a young kid, and yeah, the salt monster absolutely scared the crap out of him. I think it was Charlie, someone. Oh, scream! Gary Mitchell, that's it. I do get confused between Charlie X and Gary Mitchell. It's the superhuman powers. There you go. There it was. I'm going to take a drink. He's dead, Jim. I mean, there's been a few throughout this various series. Why is he sweating so much? He's also sweating quite a bit, isn't he? Trouble is, because that kind of detail wouldn't have been picked up back in the day, you don't know if that was just like because of the studio lights or if it was intentional, but you know, it's quite subtle to be intentional. And of course, the security officer that died, he's kind of the first red shirt to go, even though he was wearing a blue shirt. I'm also curious as to why she screamed to bring everyone to it. Maybe, you know, if she just hadn't been around when they found him, they might have thought of other things. And another little plot hole right there is obviously Starfleet would want to preserve the last of a species, so all you'd have to do is just ask for large quantities of salt and tell them why, and Starfleet would make great efforts. That's actually based, that line that Uhura just said, if I hear the word frequency one more time, I'll cry, was actually based on something that Nichelle Nichols said to Leonard Nimoy. Like I said, this was the 6th episode to actually be filmed. And she was sick and tired of saying hailing frequencies open, and she turned to him and said, if I say the word frequency one more time, I'm going to blow up this console. And they took that and changed it a bit and put it in an episode. There you go. Like I say, you'll see her in gold in subsequent episodes. They were the ones that were filmed earlier. But the salt vampire wouldn't need to have salt from a person. They can just have normal salt. So if the professor contacted Starfleet and said, I've got the last of a species here, it lives on salt, send a science team and make sure they bring a lot of salt with them, all would be good. And the salt vampire would have been looked after, I'm sure. Another thing he would have known about, because I mean we test for salt levels in blood now, so that would have been standard for Starfleet back in the day. So another little plot hole there. He should already know that all the salt's been drained from his body. But for narrative reasons, he doesn't know yet. It's interesting they refer to it as M113 as well, because I think later on it would have been M113. Not sick bay, you'll notice, it's dispensary. I think they changed that later on to sick bay, but Big errors. No, I think it's official that they didn't know what to refer to what became the sick bay as at the time. I think I prefer sick bay. It's more accurate for its subsequent usage. Another red shirt in blue. I mean, dispensary would be a chemist. That's a classic line there. I don't like mysteries. They give me a bellyache. Yes, not got much left, so I'm now going to stick it in my mouth. So you've got even less now. So it doesn't say Kirk out or anything. He just like, close the thing. Another red shirt in blue. Can hear the echoing of the fact that they're in a studio on that, as they call out to him. Oh, sound design was not the same back in those days. This script, by the way, bears a strong resemblance to a Twilight Zone episode. Was it Four Among Us or something like that? Stop thinking with your glands. And we know which glands he's thinking with. Ah, the jelly bean controls. Ah, Yeoman Rand. Bit of good old misogyny there. Looks a bit like Seth MacFarlane, that red shirt there. Ah, yes, we see Beauregard. And of course, the great bird of the galaxy was Gene Roddenberry himself. That was his nickname. The puppeteer of the plant was an uncredited person in this, but a chap by the name of Bob Baker. Now, I thought Runt had been munching on the celery. Oh, yeah. First mention of Saurian brandy there as well. They wanted a movement that showed, no matter what form the creature was in, that you knew it was a creature, and that biting or knuckle to the teeth, that was how you knew it was the creature. It was Gene Roddenberry's idea that he speaks Swahili. Lucky escape there. There you go, see? It's that movement. I think Nancy did it earlier as well. Could almost be a Matrix reference, that. Da-dun. Da-dun. Weird things he's eating. I mean, why is he eating switches from the consoles? That's what I want to know. Oh, another little fact from this episode. This is only one of 2 episodes where you, from the first series, where you see women wearing trousers. There's only 2 occasions. Something to watch for in this. Don't think we've seen it yet. Ah, like coloured Kendall mint cake. Oh, it's there again. The salt vampire maneuver. At least we didn't have a scream. I mean, prodding him like that wasn't very wise, because he might have been contagious with something. The effect it's had on him, I could do with some of those red pills myself, I think. Well, not the naked time virus, he's not. Oh, there you go. I mean, I know today we don't think much of a shot like that, but back in the day, that was like a single camera pan from one to the other, and it looked almost seamless. That was pretty good. Ah, now another thing to watch here is Professor Crater's laser pistol is the same one from that the crew of the Enterprise used in The Cage. Back during lockdown, I was part of a group with Kira, you'll remember, part of the Star Trek Sunday, my co-host, and we had it was a challenge. We had to make a short film based on a particular theme during the week. It was a fun little thing to do while we were all in lockdown. I made a point each time of making a short film that had at least two of me in it, playing two different characters, quite often on screen at the same time. I was quite proud of that. I'll have to put a link to those in the old Discord. I think to say we only had a week to do them. Yeah, I'm quite proud of them. Yes, indeed, she's on placement now, so doing very, very well. There you go. Look at his gun. It's a gun from The Cage. hardly discreet, are they? Just something about the being quiet. Now, why, if Spock's one side of him, Spock calls out, why did he look in Kirk's direction? Mm-hmm. Of course, later on, stun just meant knocking them out. But yeah, in this one, stun is debilitated. Mm. Not the last one, though, as Jack Ransom discovers in Lower Decks. There he is, Seth MacFarlane again. There again. It's got that wrong. Our incisors were never actually fangs. They're exactly what they say, incisors. Designed in a similar way to fangs for tearing, but they've never been fangs. We can recognise it. Don't think truth serum's ever been mentioned since. Of course, there is actually no such thing as a truth drug, medically speaking. I know they use it in a lot of spy films and things like that, but nah, doesn't exist. Interestingly, he's got a red mark on his head and green blood. So that's a bit weird. You'd have a green mark, surely. Could be. I did a small sci-fi a few years ago. Shot and produced it, and gave the alien in it very, very white skin. So when he got hit in the head with a brick, I used mayonnaise as the blood. Not mayonnaise, salad cream as the blood. She doesn't look very frightened. Ah, the Vulcan death grip. Oh, bit of emotion from Spock there. And there it is. The salt vampire. I mean, you have to wonder why it turned into the salt vampire at that moment. Okay, some wry little smiles there from Spock and McCoy. There you go. So there we are. Good job, Mark. And good job, George Clayton Johnson. I'm just going to see it through its credits now. Got to watch the credits. Oh, no, it skipped the credits. Okay. For me, it skipped the credits. Not to worry. There we go. So 56 years ago, this very, very day, The Man Trap launched onto our screens. And there we go. So what do you think of it? Is it a good episode? Was it a good choice for a first episode for the original series? Apparently it was a process of elimination that they ended up using that one first of all. Because, of course, series back in that day didn't have like series arcs or anything, so they literally could just present them in any order they wanted. But yeah, it's a cracking episode, and it's where it all began. So thank you all very much for joining me on this Star Trek Day celebration watch along. Hope it was fun for you. Hope it was interesting, and we'll leave it there for today. I'm going to go off and watch some more Star Trek now, because why the hell wouldn't I? It's a day with a Y in it after all. So yeah, there we go. In the meantime, until next time, rather, of course, peace and long life, and live long and prosper. Take care. I will see you soon. And when I can find the button, there we are.